Namaste students. Hope you are all safe at home with the grace of God. Today we are going to continue the bridge course. In today's class we are going to discuss about the topics of our goals, rights and duties. In the previous video we were discussed about the government. Why government is necessary, what is a government, and how the people of the government are being elected, and how they are going to make laws. All these points we discussed in the previous video. In today's class we are going to discuss about the what are the goals of the citizens and what are the rights and duties are being given by the constitution, that we are going to discuss in today's class. As we all know that India became independent on 15th August 1947. To frame the constitution was very much difficult at that particular time, because we were having a lot of problems in our country when we got independence. Constitution is a set of rules and regulations which the country has to be ruled. It is a written document which consists of a set of rules and regulations where the country, how it has to be ruled, and in what way the powers has to be divided between the central government and the state government. So all these points and all this information is available in the constitution, and that is a book which consists of set of rules and regulations which the country has to be ruled. Now our constitution was been enforced on 26th January, that is 1950. It defines the goals and rights and duties of the people. What are our goals? Being a citizen of our country, what are our goals? What are the rights given by the government? And what are the duties, that is the responsibilities as a citizen that we have to do for the country? Then in India, we have a lot of different types of people who have different religion, different languages. We are diversified, but still we are united. When it comes to the country, we are united together. Now, it is very important to know that what are the things that the constitution consists of. So, in the introduction of the constitution itself, the India is a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic and republic. These are the words which are used in the introduction of the constitution. So let us see what are the meaning of these words which are used in the constitution. Okay, let us see one by one what is the meaning of these words. First is the word sovereign. What does it means? The word sovereign means India is a free country. Free country in the sense India is the country which is not controlled by any other countries. It is independent completely. No country can forcibly rule our country. Then next one is socialist. What do you mean by this word? It means all the citizens are equal in the eyes of law. When it comes to the law or rules of the country, everybody are equal. Everybody are equal, whether they belong to any caste or religion or any kind of economic status, whether they are rich or poor. It applies to everybody that they are equal under the rules and regulations. But if a rich person has done something wrong, he is also punished. If a poor person has done something wrong, he is also punished. It doesn't depend. So if any Hindus have been done some problems in the country, they are also punished. If the Muslims has been done, yes, they are also to be punished. And even if they belong to any other religion, they need to be punished if they have done something wrong. So that is the socialist means it is equal for everybody. The law is equal for everybody. Then when it comes to the secular in the sense we have the freedom to follow any religion. I might choose even the Christian religion or Muslim religion or Hindu religion. It is my choice and I have given the right to choose my religion. Okay. And India doesn't give importance for any one religion. It is secular, means all religions are equal. Then it is, another one is democratic. What do you mean by that word democratic? Democratic means people are going to choose. The word democratic means people are going to choose the representatives. That is, they are going to elect the people who are going to rule the government. That is, rule the country to form a government. Then the right has been given for the citizens to right to vote. That is the beautiful thing of democracy, where the citizens has given the right to choose their representatives. That is the right to vote. Okay. And the people who has crossed the age of 18 years, they are eligible to cast their vote and elect the representatives. And one of the most important person in the world history, that is Abraham Lincoln, who was the former president of United States of America, has said that the government is for the people, by the people, and of the people. Then another one word is republic. Republic is the word which indicates that the country is chosen a head of the state. Head of the state in the sense the head of the country. State refers to as country in a political term. The head of the state, that is the head of the country, is the president of India. The president is considered to be a head who is selected, and that is what a republic means. The word republic means. Now, we should understand that India is sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, and republic. So, all these basic requirements where the country should have, those qualities have been mentioned in the Constitution of India. Okay, yes. Now we'll move on to the rights and duties. We have to understand that what is a right. Right is something that we must possess. We must definitely get it from the government, or it has given to the people by the government, where they have to take it and they have to use it in their daily regular activities. They have to get it compulsory. That is the actual motive of the government. So then what are the fundamental rights that we have given? I'm going to just explain those things. The right to equality is one of the rights whatever we have given. What is that right to equality? All of us are equal compared to the caste, religion, rich or poor or whatever it is, that we are treated to be the citizens of India. So that is, even in the court also we need to be treated equally. Even by the government we have to be treated equally, whether we are rich, poor or belong to any other caste or religion or whatever it is, equality has to be followed. The right to freedom. We have a freedom. How can we say that we have a freedom? I have a freedom to express my words. I have a freedom of giving a speech to the people, which is for the sake of the development of the country. Nobody can stop me that not to give any speech, or you don't express yourself whatever you want. It is my right to express my views. And there is my right to assemble in a group and celebrate some functions or festival or whatever it is. Or I have the right to settle down in a particular place. I will just show you a map of India. Okay, see that as a citizen of India, I have the rights to settle down in any of these states or union territories. Okay, nobody should tell me that you are not having any rights to settle down in these regions. I have a rights to settle down in any of these places. Okay, then I have a freedom of moving from one place to another. I can visit any place. This is one of the tourist place where I can easily visit to this place even if I belongs to other state also. This is about the freedom of the movement what we can just do, and we also have the freedom of making some movements like we have to save trees or save water. That kind of procession or any kind of saving environment related activities or protests or such kind of things can be done by me. And another important thing is freedom of profession or occupation. See here, these are the professions. I'm just giving an example which I can choose being a citizen of my country. Being a citizen of India, I have the rights to choose any of these profession. Or rather than this, I can become an engineer or a doctor or any of the profession which I am going to like, that I can just easily choose. Okay. Then, even as I told you, I have a choice of constructing a house in any of the state in India or any of the union territory, because being a citizen of this country, the government has given the rights for me, that it is my basic right to construct a house in whichever the state I am in or whichever the state I want. Okay, they should not tell, the other state people should not tell you are not supposed to construct a house in our state. They should not tell like that, because it is my right. And right to freedom of religion, as I told you, I have a choice of choosing any of the religion. Right against exploitation. If somebody try to exploit me, somebody try to beat me, or somebody want to take more work from me, that can be questioned. I'm not here to exploit it, to be exploited by somebody. Cultural and educational rights, of course we do have some educational rights for us, some constitutional remedies. And also right to education. Right to education is also very much important for us, that the children of the age group of 6 to 14 years have to compulsory get the education. That is their basic rights of the children, where they have to get education till the age of 14 years. So basic elementary level of the education has to be completed by them. So this is about the rights which are given by the government for us. Then the government is also have given some duties, which is our fundamental duties as a citizens of our country. That is the responsibility what we have as a citizens of the country. So we have to just follow that one. Let us see what are the different types of fundamental duties that we have to do as a citizen of our country. To abide by the constitution, that to respect the rules and regulations of the constitution, and also respect the national flag and national anthem. Like all the national symbols has to be respected. You can see that all the national symbols, which I can just show you, all these has to be given great respect with the national flag, national emblem, and all the national symbols has to be respected, given respect by the citizens of our country. That is also one of the primary duty of us. To cherish and follow the noble ideals of the freedom struggle, and as well as to protect the sovereignty and unity of the country. We should not divide the people, and to make activities against the country. We should not do that. To defend the country, we have to feel proud to join as a soldiers to our country. It is to serve the nation. It is our primary duty. And also to promote the spirit of common brotherhood. We have to feel like brothers with the other religion, with the other state people. We have to come join together and do for better work for the development of the country. To protect the and improve the natural environment, we have to protect the environment, not to pollute the environment, and not to destroy the different types of natural resources like forest, water resources. All these things we should not pollute it. Then when it comes to the development of the scientific temper, we should not blindly believe the things. We should have a spirit of inquiring the questions, why it has to be done, what is the reason for doing all these traditional activities or customs, whatever we have been following. Then when it comes to the safeguarding the public property, when we visit to the tourist places like temples, you should not harm the monuments. You should not, because it's a public property. it has to be taken care. Even the bus and the trains which you are using, you should not tear the seats, or you should not spit on the places where you have make the place very dirt, or such kind of things should not be done, because it's a public property. It is used by most of the people. Okay, then when it comes to the individual responsibility also, we are just improve ourselves and try to give something to our country, that from our side we have to feel proud that we have given something for the development of the country, that it is our important one of the most fundamental duty, that we have to serve the nation with our abilities. And even parents and guardians to promote the opportunities, to provide the opportunities for the children for education at the age group of 6 to 14 years. And there are some principles as provided to the in the constitution that the states should also follow, that is, all the states and the government has to follow, that what are the principles that they have, that is, the government has to take care, that is, the provide the better conditions for the people to live. The government should provide work for all men and women so that they can peacefully live in this world. And even the government has other things, like they are going to improve the weaker sections, that is the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes people. And even no one should try to harm the ability of the country, that is, its one's ability should not be destroyed by any kind of illegal activities or something like that. And all these things has to be done for the safeguard of the country, and as well as for the development of the country. We have to abide by the constitution, that is, you have to follow the rules and regulations made by the government. For example, if you take in this pandemic situation, the government has taken several measures to safeguard the lives of the people by giving vaccination, and to give a lot of facilities, and even they are passing always the information: maintain social distance, wear mask properly. And immediately, if you are facing the problems in getting vaccinated, you will just report to the higher authorities, bring it to the notice of the government, so that they can provide the vaccination facilities for the people, those who are not getting from it. All these things are being done for the welfare of the people, for the betterment of the people. The government is working a lot, so we have to be abide by the rules and regulations, and it is our duty to follow the rules and regulations in the constitution. All these things is related to the our goals, rights and duties. Dhanyavad children.